Please join me for the 2023 Pointer Overflow CTF. It is an annual contest in honor of our undergraduate and graduate cybersecurity programs. It is free to enter and open to one and all worldwide. We're going to have 27 challenges over 9 categories, so there should be something for everybody, and it ought to be fun. Go to Pointer Overflow CTF and sign up. The contest begins in September. Hello everyone, welcome back to Greyhack Season 2. I don't know if you missed it last time, but I did get caught. And now I, in accordance with the recidivism rates in the United States, am out and I am ready to crime again. I got some tips in comments on the last video. Reason that things might have gone wrong for me. So I've never really explored any of the admin AI or privacy enhancing measures or anything like that in the previous part. I think I touched on them a little bit because I was just, a little bit curious here and there, but it didn't really come up, to be honest with you. I was under the assumption that simply switching Wi-Fi networks was essentially the way that you prevent getting caught. However, I have learned through those comments that there is a bit more to it than that, and I did remember that there's an admin tool that I want to take a look at. Also, I have to issue a correction. Greyhack Gaming is not the developer. This game is developed by one person, and I think they're in Spain. I believe that that's still the case. I've actually been looking into it because I'm more interested in it now. But part of what I did in order to research how to stay safe from admins, in this case, is by going through Greyhack Gaming's tutorial series, which is excellent. If you want an actual tutorial on how to play Greyhack, go there. But as it turns out, not the developer as I initially, I suppose, assumed. But a passionate member of the community, which is one of the mysteries of this game. I mean, don't get me wrong, this is a good game. It's very faithful to the processes and all, but it inspires such a passionate community. As it turns out, the GH Tools wiki that I was using is also not official documentation. This game has such a passionate and talented user base. It's honestly unlike anything I've really seen before. It's pretty incredible. But I'm back, and before I actually get into anything, I want to do a little bit of research on the game over system. I might do a little bit of testing on my own, see if I can unravel some of the admin AI a little bit myself. And well, I guess before I get started, what I would expect to see in terms of a real-life analog is in terms of just host-based security. So this single endpoint that I have operating here, there are several technologies I would normally implement to ensure my own safety and anonymity online. I don't know if they're going to be in the game or not, but these are going to be the things that I'm looking for. So in terms of host security alone, I'd be looking for host-based firewalls, which I know that there is a firewall option, I believe, in the preferences, but it's grayed out, so I want to do some research on how to do that. I don't know if I just download a firewall app and then configure that. I'm looking for HIPS, host-based IDS or IPS, so HIDS or HIPS, if I can find one of those. I have not seen anything really related to that, but maybe. I'm looking for application control policies, which I also haven't seen in the game, but I'd be looking for that. And then, of course, I'm looking for also AV and exploit mitigation. Now, in this game, I think probably just exploit mitigation would pretty much cover both of those real-life analogs. The difference in real life between AV and exploit mitigation is that AV is antivirus. It's used to detect malicious code at runtime. Exploit mitigation, what we're talking about, are going to be usually measures that prevent memory corruption or other application vector exploits like DEP or DEP-NX, ASLR, SAHOP, and so on. That's what I would be looking for. Now, of those, again, firewall is the only one that I no is in the game because I can see the icon. In terms of my anonymity, what I'm looking for, a Mac scrambler, VPN, of course. So I'm probably forgetting a couple of things there, but those are examples of some of the things that I'm looking for here when it comes to my own security and privacy. So the first thing I want to do, I want to look into the manual because I think there is a game over section. Okay, I don't see it when I search for it, but let's see what we get here. Getting started. General tips, criminal reputation, avoid traces. This might be useful. So let's see what the manual here says. How you get caught. Because the last time I got caught, I switched to a brand new, never before used Wi-Fi signal before I got caught the first time. I got caught with guest access, and I hadn't really done anything except for LS and CD. That was all I had done. When I got caught and booted out, I connected to another brand new Wi-Fi network, which I had just cracked. So it's not even one that I had cracked beforehand. Went in, got caught again only with guest access. And I think I had downloaded a couple of, or sorry, was it standard user access? I had downloaded a couple of things, but that was it. So let's see what we got here. When you access a remote computer without authorization, it's very likely that you will attract the attention of the administrator. If it finds the machine that started the hacking, it will inform the authorities. Depending on the type of network you have access to, administrators can be more or less permissive. One of the comments I got on the last video was that police networks tend to be more permissive for some reason. I'm not sure exactly why that would be, but they tend to be more permissive than others, and but if you will, there is a sort of administrator NPC AI that is going on in the background, or so it seems. At the very least, there seems to be variables at play when it comes to administrator due diligence and due care. So they may not notice an ingress. They may notice it and not react. And depending on where they fall on that spectrum determines whether or not they even notice any suspicious activity, and then whether or not they act on it even if they do notice it. You can consider it, I guess, sort of a percentage of getting caught. A good administrator will find suspicious activity where others do not see it or simply ignore it. In any case, it is highly recommended that you delete your tracks once you have finished an intrusion. We did do some var system log deletion last time. In it, system events are registered such as incoming, outgoing connections. Okay. How to avoid being caught, active trait. Let's go to how to avoid being caught, the basic version here. It is important that you remove any traces that may incriminate you in an unauthorized connection. The current version of the game, you just have to delete any entry in the var system log that is either shell obtained or file deleted along with your IP address. Okay, so that's really all. So then why did I get... I did have a shell obtained because I had a guest shell and a user shell. So those alone are what caused me to get caught. If the admin monitor program warns you that an admin has started an active trace against you, okay, that's the program that I came across last time. I didn't have that running, and I've never used it because I'm not sure exactly what it means. But that's something I'm going to have to learn here. Okay, before the end of the countdown. So I really should have that up and running so I at least know I'm being traced. Do not delete the entire log, since inevitably when you disconnect from the machine, you will create an entry in the log with your own disconnection, recreating the file, or creating the file if you had deleted it. If an administrator sees a log file with only a disconnected entry, he will suspect that... Okay, so then that... So I did delete everything that one time. So that is a no-no. We just want shell obtained and file deleted. That's it. Let's go to the advanced topics, though. So the real-world analog for this, there is no admin monitor program. There's no software that an attacker can run that monitors whether or not an admin is currently at their desk, or is lazy, or is non-observant or non-responsive. There is no such thing. But it is true that admins will look at logs, I suppose, as a way of determining whether or not attacks have occurred. In the real world, most places will have what's known as a SIEM, a Security Incident Event Monitoring System, and a SOC, a Security Operations Center. They would certainly be suspicious of a log being missing and so on, but the two shell obtained or file deleted, what they would be seeing on their end would be more along the lines of some kind of pre-configured automated alert or rules that have been generated through machine learning, like for example with like a WAF or something like that has been left in audit mode in order to generate a rule set over a certain period of time, and then aberrant behavior that doesn't comply with the standard user profile would then be flagged as an alert. Things like that. So it's not quite as simple as that, but the game is headed in the right direction for sure. Alright, how to avoid being caught advanced. Keep in mind that if you connect directly to the victim machine, you will not have much reaction time if an administrator starts tracking you. So we do need to make use of rented servers if we're going to be launching our attacks. At least one computer to connect to the victim, for example. If you have a rented computer, you can connect it to and from to the victim machine, okay? Bounce to connect to the remote machine. There are two types of traces, an active trace and a passive trace. The log is only useful when a passive trace occurs. An active trace is when an administrator is logged into a computer that you have accessed. So I did phish the administrator in the scenario where I got caught. I did phish the administrator and ask them to log on. So that must be part of how they got me so fast. It's because they were logged in. The way to stop this tracking, if it has already started, is to disconnect from the remote machine, at which point the passive trace will begin. Okay, so passive trace. After a failed active trace, or when an administrator goes to work and checks the logs and finds suspicious activity, the records of the system by which the intruder has been jumping. Okay, it's advisable to break the chain of connections at any point so that the administrator cannot reach you. Slower. Okay. Alright, so it sounds like the key to avoiding detection from administrators is to use at least one proxy connection, make sure you delete the system log, and use admin monitor both to detect traces and try to work around administrator schedules. Sounds like that's about it. I have a gift of my first Wi-Fi network, so I'm going to connect to that. Probably going to crack a couple of other ones just to have them handy, and then we'll get into it and see if we can figure out the firewall situation here. So let me first crack a couple of new ones here. Which one is this? Alright, I've gone ahead and I've cracked all the available Wi-Fi networks that I have to me right now anyway. Which means I'm ready to see if I can find... Hold on. We're going to see if we can find... Here we go. I've actually never seen a site like this before, so but let's go back and no. And okay, I've never actually run into one of these servers before. Download the tool to manage your networks for free. Config LAN. Okay, so this is different network speeds. Oh, and external service. Gotcha. So what is the cost for something like this? 220 a month, 295 to rent a server. This doesn't seem like an unreasonable amount. 220 a month is about like one reputation, one job. But also it says a month. And time goes by pretty fast here. Minutes are basically seconds. Or 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. That's about 4 to 5 seconds or so. Still, doesn't seem unreasonable. This is even cheaper than that. So I'll come back to that. Let me check out admin monitor. So this just sits here and will let me know what's going on. Let's take a job, just a low-level one, so that because I have no money at all. None at all. Yeah, broke. Let's take a job, build our reputation back up a little bit, get some money for some hardware, probably, and check out the admin monitor tool as we go. I still can't see anything related to the firewall. I don't know if maybe that's supposed to be in a future update or something, but I think if we take the low-level jobs, I was pretty safe last time, so probably be okay. We did some credentials needed during part 1, so this time let's do some database changes. Okay, this time I'm not going to bother with it, so I'm just going to we are looking to modify Bellini economy, change the note to approved at least. Terminal. Okay, make sure we were good. Alright, students is running on 3306. I do have my vuln scan script as I did before. I just rewrote it. Oh, which reminds me, I should probably save that. Two guests, but no shells. I wasn't prompted. But it's guest access. It doesn't mean that a shell was possible, because now I know that you get starting attack success even on like the like print boot, print var, the mail.txt and bank.txt. So here is an attack that failed because there was no active root user. So I could do a fish here. Computer. Okay, so I was also able to modify the password for Goran. And we do have SSH. We do. So I could do that. So that is. Oh, we also were able to modify the password for Eni. So let's SSH. Oops. Let's SSH. I've already forgotten their username. Any password here on 250. Okay, I'm on the box. Don't see anything in admin monitor just yet. It was Bellini. There they are. There's economy. To change the note to approved at least. What does that mean? What does approved mean? Like this is like a B, almost a B plus? That seems approved to me. Oh, that's right. I ran into this exact same problem last time I played. Someone explained to me, if I'm remembering correctly, that in other parts of the world, the grades are, I mean, here in America, it's usually a 4.0 scale. A 4.0 is an A, that's as high as you can get. Some places will do A+, but it's not officially. There's nothing higher than that at most institutions. So you get like an A at 4, a B is like a 3, a C is like a 2 or so. Or in some places it's a different average, but basically it's out of a scale of 4 is the range from F, D, C, B, A, from lowest to highest as far as your grades go. Someone explained to me that they do things differently in most other parts of the world, and I'm sorry I'm not that familiar with it. Was it out of 100? Let's try. Okay. I guess so. It seems so. So we can... Just, oh, cool. I didn't know that we could do that. Alright, so this job is done. I didn't see anything come up in admin monitor. Can I... I probably do not have privs to do this. I do not. Okay, now I do want to see what happens with admin monitor, but I also don't want to invite another game over here. I wonder if... I didn't see anything in the manual about passive traces eventually going away. Do I just kind of like accrue admin attention? Is that another reason why it seemed to happen so suddenly? Like, should at this point I be escalating my privs so that I can get rid of the log? I kind of think maybe I should. Which is easy enough to do. I need to write my own decipher, I think. Which, do I have decipher? I don't. Password is password. Oh, was I able to alter that? I didn't see in the list that I got root on that one. Okay. Okay, now I can log the viewer. Get rid of this. This is the only one that matters. The rest of these don't. So now we can exit, and we can exit, and we should be good. That's unfortunate. I'm starting to feel limited by what Greyhack has to offer here. I feel like it's so close. There's simple little things that are missing that would be major quality of life improvements, like being able to sort in the shops, being able to sort in the file explorer, create new files in the context menu, change text output color, and all of that. Simple little things that would be major improvements. I don't see where I got root access because it's kind of all over the place. There's Eni. There's Eni again. Okay, there's where I modified the password for root. Like, that's the kind of thing I really wish that I could call out, and rather than having to comb through all of this output to separate everything out. Let me try another one. Let me try another one using the script as it is to see if at least this new code section is working. Because if it is, then that will change significantly my ideas on whether or not what I want to do is even going to be possible. Okay, so let's close the code editor. Let's pick up another job. We'll do a police record this time. Oh my god, there's so many. Failed. Boxers modified. Failed. Success. Manny-Assen is modified. Failed. Success. Computer obtained. Okay, none of these are root. So, but that's okay. I got a couple of users here that I can use. It's SSH, Manassin, password here, 2. Once again, is Stacy Ara. Oh, started an active trace. 150 seconds. Okay, so Stacy Arahai, tax evasion, delete. Yes. And save. And that's it. Alright, 440 seconds. Alright, now I need to get off this box, but I need to delete that thing. Actually, what happens if I just exit? Okay, the active trace was canceled. But we're going to get a passive trace, right? I mean, if the admin AI is of a sufficient level that they will perform a passive trace, they will. I think. I'm going to run my vuln scan on the SSH port to see if we get root access while I'm waiting to see if a passive trace starts up. Okay, so I ran it on SSH. I did get prompted to start a shell. I can see privileges obtained from user Boxer, so I know this isn't going to be a guest shell. So I could jump in right now. If I hit no, will it continue on? Oh, that's the passive trace. Okay, there's my root access. I tried replying here. It says that I didn't complete the mission details. I'm not sure what's up with that. Yep, there it is. Delete that. Yes. Save. Record updated successfully. Reply. Send. I have not... Why the hell? Remove. Yes. Save. What the hell? Okay. What is going on? Is this bugged or something? Die. The fuck, I haven't. Okay, there we go. Alright, nothing else I can do. Alright, I'm not sure how much, if any, of all of that I just did is something I'm going to show in the video. But basically, I never even knew. I've heard about the rented servers. I never knew about the internet access and so on. So what I did is I bought myself the small tier of both internet access and a remote server, and then I really quickly just wrote myself a quick connect VPN script so that I could just quickly type in VPN and connect to my remote server, and hopefully that will help a little bit. So there's technically 2 layers of obfuscation here. I have my own Wi-Fi access now, but I can still connect to BSSID somewhere. And then I can connect to my remote server, and that technically gives me 2 layers of abstraction. And my analog for the rented servers is a VPN server, but obviously there's a little bit more to this than that. Like, for example, there's not really any, there's not even a mention of any cipher suites anywhere in any of this. So really it's more like a proxy server, I suppose, than anything else. Let's do we'll do one more database here, so I can see if using the proxy server helps at all. I'm still going to avoid the credentials needed because I did 4 of those in part 1. I hate to keep doing database ones during this video, but it seems to be the only other type of Rep 0 job, so we'll do another academic job, I suppose. And I'm at the small tier, which should be relatively inexpensive. So now I can just go VPN. Okay. Oh, but I don't have, like, Nmap or anything. I gotta grab Nmap, I gotta grab my vuln scan, I gotta grab the meta-exploit library. And that will do for now. Okay. Now that I have that... Okay. No. Alright, all of these are running on our target machine. So we'll vuln scan that, and we'll do the students database. So it's to increase the economy academic qualification by at least 1 point. And I don't know what that means in terms of the grading scheme that they're using here. The last user had a 3.2, so would that be a 4.2? Let me just look it up while this thing is running. Here's a school in Vienna. It's a level 5 grading system according to this. Not guessed if we can avoid it. No active root user. Okay, there were other ports we could try. Let's try number 80. If we can get root access, then we're fine. I just would prefer to not have to do a local escalation if we can avoid it. Alright, so it's a 5 system for pass-fail. Okay, so it seems similar to the systems that we use in the United States. It's just a 5-point system. At least according to that university in Vienna. City University of New York, well that's not what we're looking for. since the game is developed in Spain, it looks like the grading system in Spain is actually a 0 through 10. 9 through 10 being outstanding or very good, the equivalent of an A or a B. And 7 to 8.9 is a C. A 5 to 6.9 is a D or an E. We don't use E in the United States. With 0 to 4.9 being a fail, an F, or an FX, whatever FX is. So I'm assuming that that's the scale that we're using. All right, we got user privs. Can we get root though? No. Okay. We can try that last port. The employee database. And if we can't get it, then we'll take user access, and we might have to escalate from there. Wonder how common this 0 through 10 system is. If there was to be an outlier in the grading system, I would expect it to be in the Central Europe, Vienna, Austria, or Germany, or thereabouts type place. So that's specifically Spain. Let's try one of Spain's neighbors and see what the Portuguese grading scale typically is. Oh my god, it's totally different. No to guest access. Okay, so user access is the best we're going to do. According to Scalaro, okay, so there's year 9 grades. That's the 5 scale. That's the 1 through 5 scale. ECTS is similar. Definitely strange, but similar. It says most common is the 1 through 20 scale. Now my question is do any of these countries have a similar grading scale? Not that they need to or that I expect them to, but it's just one of those things I never really gave a lot of thought to. Because our teaching systems are highly reflective of national cultures, and they tend to develop in pockets of isolated communities throughout time, until eventually, only fairly recently, do we have even considerations of national systems. So I expect them to be different. I just don't know how different they can be expected to be. I just looked up the French system. My brain is broken. What? All right, let's get back to business here. We got something we got to do here. We're going to go back to user access, and we're going to change the grade and look at our admin monitor and see if we can escalate our privs to root so that we can delete the log. See if we catch another passive trace. That's what I want to see now, is another passive trace. I wonder if you get a game over after too many passive traces, or if it's just if you get caught on an active trace. Because if you just get booted off with a passive trace, I can handle it. It's not a big deal. I don't know. This is only information I can collect with enough data. So, all right. User access, yes, please. Looking for Lolly Uston. There she is. So she wants 1 point. So if I give her a 7.3, and already this blows the 5-point system out of the water. Oh wait, it was a 10-point system in Spain. So okay, she's satisfied. We're good. Delete that. We can close that, and now we're looking for an escalation. We could always just log out and see if they get us on a passive later on, since they're so not on the ball right now. Let's do that. Let's exit. We'll see if a passive trace comes back to us. And in the meantime, I am going to rewrite libver so that I have that available for next time. For next time. Okay, well, the passive trace does not seem to have materialized after the last attack. So I'm not sure necessarily quite yet how the passive trace system sort of works. I don't know if like that attention ever really goes away. I'm also wondering if the attention you get is somewhat based on your reputation as well. Something like that would make sense. So, let's see. What I'm going to do now, I still have to figure out this firewall situation, and I didn't touch on this yet, but another important part of host security is managing entitlements. So I want to make sure that I have locked down as much as I can, both here and on my new remote server. I need one more mission also to come back to level 1 for reputation, so we're going to do one more mission here before we close this out. Now, I to be clear, if you're watching this and you've been, wondering what the hell, obviously I'm giving away way too much about my setup here to keep safe. Like, for example, of course, passwords are important, but when it comes to credential pairs, there's 2 parts to it, hence pair. There's the username and the password. And in real-world cybersecurity, of course, if possible, we want to obfuscate usernames too, simply because it removes one avenue of low-hanging fruit from potential attackers. If they have half a credential pair, like, for example, a common username, then they can focus on just getting the password. So, like, for example, in a Windows domain environment, you want to change the default administrator account from administrator to something that would be non-standard. I mean, standardized for the principal, but not standardized for just the Windows OS. Same thing with, like vendor-supplied credentials whenever possible. You want to change default passwords, but if you can, you also want to change default usernames as well. You can't always do that. But of course, I'm sharing my username. I can't, I could, I suppose, comb through all of my footage and remove all that information, but that's way more work, and also I'm willing to expose myself in some ways for the sake of playing the game, ease of making videos, and sharing my experiences. So, my IP, my usernames, all that kind of stuff. Passwords I can control and not. I'm sharing some of the passwords that I'm getting, for example, to other users and Wi-Fi networks and so on. But again, it's just for the sake of the videos. Passive defense also, not reusing passwords. Yep, that's easy enough. Keeping backups, anything that I've wanted to save, and so far the only thing I've wanted to save has been some of the scripts that I've done. Of course, I have those saved somewhere else entirely. Okay, now I'm looking at the Hacker's Handbook Guide for 0.8 written by Ona Kidokus. There's a How to Survive and How to Protect Yourself. Remove guest permissions from all files. That makes sense. How to survive. Read the whole Getting Started guide, rent servers and use them. Don't forget to clear logs. Do not run anything you don't trust. All of that's good advice. So a couple of changes later. It looks like, according to the guides, that's about the best advice I'm getting for now. I believe that for firewalls, what I need to do is... I think that is... There's no host-based firewall. I think that it's all just network-based. So if I add... Let's see. Firewall would be on the router or switch. And also, how is this working without a router? Add a router. No. Add computer, add hub, add a router. This shouldn't be connected like this. Why is it connected like this? That doesn't make any sense. And what is new device? Okay. Doesn't make any sense. Let me check the. Let me check and see what this spray hack firewall. Okay, if I change this rule then to deny, you can't do protocol. I'm just gonna. Well, I don't want to do that. I want to deny all. Let's say SSH. Okay, and then if I. Actually, before I should probably tailor the rule to pick up job to whatever job it is. So let's pick up one more job, database job. Here's another police record. Yeah, we'll do that one. Okay, and I'm going to write a rule as I'm doing this here. Okay, let's do a deny port 80. Alright, apparently my firewall rule to block on port 80 isn't doing anything. I mean, no, it should have prevented, because the connection string is way before this. So no to guest access, please. Alright, that's all we have on 80. Let me start another terminal. And let me try... No, this is not the correct firewall rules. This is not our firewall, apparently. It should be. This is not making any sense. The way that the networking is laid out here doesn't make any sense. I get that we have a private IP to the gateway. It can be, because it's a private IP, be the same private IP for two different gateways. I don't understand, I suppose, why config LAN doesn't have the ability to modify firewall rules right here, or even add like services here. Oh, am I gonna get double charged here? Am I getting 195 for this shit and then... Oh, that's why it's 195. 60 for one, yeah, so I'm getting charged for two things here. A computer, a router, and 3 meg service. This one I'm getting the router and 3 mega service. Okay, well, that's fine. Okay, I'm still confused on how that's supposed to work. If I just search for, did I do this last time? Did I search for firewall? Yeah, nothing comes up. So I don't know. I don't know. 3306 and 3307. If anybody can fill me in on how firewalls work, not as an obstacle to completing challenges, but for host-based security, if you can fill me in on why this is grayed out and what one could do about it. Because I'm not getting it, and I'm not seeing everything I'm seeing when I search. Like, for example, Grey Hat Gaming's Firewalls Explained video seems to be more as firewalls as an obstacle. I'm looking for firewall as defense in this case. Okay, so the best we could do without any additional steps was guest access, but we can do better than this. We're gonna need to log in as guest, but we can't really do local escalation with that. All right, I think I think we have to get an admin online here, which I know is potentially inviting another game over, because I'm basically doing exactly as I did before getting an admin online, and trying to get the work done before they catch me. But it's also a good test for the admin monitor program here. Yeah, let's get them online. All right, so they're online now. We're gonna go right for root access then. 1, 3, 4, I think it was. Yes. We're going to get access to a shell. That's guest access. We don't want that. Non-root user. Non-root user. Non-root user. How come we didn't get this? Oh, because, no. Why didn't we get this the last time we ran it then? Oh, probably because I hadn't updated my Metasploit library. I bet if I had run it now, it would be fine. And I just got an administrator online for nothing. Let's try it now. No to guest. Yes to root. This is for Flamenco, and there's our trace. There's Domenko, kidnapping, X that out, yes, save, reply, send. It's doing it again. Customer satisfied. I don't know what that's about. Okay, but we do have an active trace here on us. The time is shorter than... Oh, yeah, no, this is through my VPN, so... anyway, that's fine. Log viewer. Obtained. X that out. Obtained. X... Oh, I didn't check and see if that was my IP. I just deleted it. Oh well. I'm sure it's alright. And it's an active trace canceled. Okay. Alright. So I learned a couple of other... I knew about these, but I was reminded of a couple of other important things in terms of security and privacy here, which is, of course, make sure that you're keeping yourself current on your current versions and security patches. So I had to update my libraries there in order to even view all of my exploits. So there's that, and then of course there's file level entitlements as well. So what I'm going to do, let's see if we can quick write something to run regularly. Can you do cron jobs in Greyhack? No, I don't see anything related to that. Okay. Go back to GH tools here. Search. I want this launch function. All I want to do is write a script that I can just execute from the command line that will automatically reset entitlements, and do apt update and upgrade. That's it. There's launch program params. Executes a program, string path of the program with optional parameters. Returns null on success or 0 on failure. Okay, there we go. All right, now that puts me on my way to automating more better that scan. Okay, nice. Okay, so that also puts us in the right direction here for this. So I'm going to comment this out. I'm going to just save this here for something else here, but okay, that's what we need. What we want our util script to do, though, is to launch.
My name ain't Mikey, but yeah, I rock. You know why? Because I don't give a fuck. That's why it doesn't matter whether I'm cool or not. Just a taste of the word gives me the gut rock. It's not pop, so just stop like a blood clot. Because we're here to blow up like we came from a rock. Electronica embezzled by hip-hop. Here to kick ass until our heart stops. Hipsters put on their cool shades. And thrifters keep the money they've been paid. And drifters have nothing to say but mind lifters. Don't give a damn what they say.
Wait, undeceivable, shit's unbelievable. You never ever guessed you'd hear this mix, it's inconceivable. Ouch, too hot, baby, back out of the kitchen. This is what you love at 104, so daddy, quit your bitch. I'm a poisonous affliction with a fireball addiction. Man, it burns like hell and tastes like heaven. You say both, itching. Now I got you campus itching. This is music for your children. If you never heard the cue before, you don't know what you're missing. Hey!
Okay, there we go. All right, now I guess that's about it. I think I've gone about as far as I can get with, at least so far here, with an understanding of how to keep myself safe. I do, of course, now at the end of all of this, one very important caveat is there's plenty of things that I could be doing to improve my own security that I'm not, and I know that I'm not. Like, for example, I am broadcasting out to the public, things like my IP addresses, usernames, passwords, and so on. Obviously not normally something you would want to do at all. That would absolutely be a bad idea, but I'm willing to make some concessions for the sake of making videos that are informative or interesting, and simplifying my processes to not make more work for myself than I need to in order to film these. So I'm absolutely willing to make that sacrifice, and I know that it's at some point probably going to come back and bite me, but that is okay. That is okay. It's just for the summer, and I'm okay with making those choices if it means saving myself some time and some effort and making a better video. I mean, I could edit and blur out everything, but that's a pain in the ass. I'm sharing like the site. I show the browser window that's got my bank account and email and all of that kind of stuff is all there. So I am making myself a fairly easy target here. I'm just doing things here and there that kind of make sense and don't really eat into the production time or anything like that. So. All right, I'm ready to move on to the next part then. I feel better prepared. I feel more in control. I still don't understand the passive tray system, but that's something that's going to probably take me a couple of parts to actually understand. Next time, I think in the off time here between the parts, I'm going to try and build out my vuln scan script here to now that I know how to launch Nmap, to parse that. I want to be more robust in how I respond to successful attacks. Right now, I'm not getting any data as far as like feedback goes or anything like that. Having a check in there to say, hey, do you want to start a shell with these privs or whatever? That's totally great. That was a major improvement. So that's what I'm going to, I think, work on next. That and automating, combining Nmap and vulnerability scanning all in. So that's what I'll do in my off time. And then next time, now that we are back to reputation level 1, we can go back to some of those harder jobs. Never mind, we're good. All right, so have yourself a good day. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one. Until then, goodbye.